Hey, what's up guys? Cadet Lilly here. Throughout the semester, the PIFOs are going to be releasing a series of instructional PT videos that are going to explain how to do different exercises, what the movements should look like, what the form should look like, and it also will serve as a visual aid for cadets to reference before coming to PT so that we're prepared, we know what to expect, and it'll save us a bunch of time from having to explain and demonstrate things during PT. So let's make sure we're watching these videos before coming to PT and that we're coming prepared. So a quick reminder before we get into today's video, guys, we need to make sure that we have good running shoes. I saw some cadets at the PFA running in Converses, and this is just not going to be sustainable, guys, for running twice a week, doing PT, some of the longer campus runs. It's going to hurt your feet. It's going to cause blisters. It makes you more prone to injuries. Investing in a good set of running shoes is worth it. A good set of Brooks, Saucony, Hoka, something like that. If you need, if you need transportation to get a good set of running shoes, or if you don't have the funding for them right now, let one of the PIFOs know. We'll see what we can do for you. But please make sure you're investing into a good set of running shoes. They're really, really going to be beneficial for you in the long run. So we'll be focusing on agility this week, starting off with the agility ladder and doing high knees, both forwards and sideways. These are pretty straightforward. We need to be sure we're getting those knees up, keeping them high, and landing both feet in each square while being quick and explosive when you're raising your knees. It's important that you do these quick, but I want to emphasize the importance of quality over quantity, especially for the first few times you go through. I'd rather see good form with coordinated movements as opposed to trying to do it quickly and having sloppy form. We'll be doing about 2 to 3 sets of these, possibly paired with a sprint, but that'll be explained further at PT. So next is hopscotch. You'll start with 2 feet outside the ladder, then hop to 2 in, 2 out, 2 in, making sure you hit every rung or every box. Next is ins and outs. Every foot hitting every box, but alternating, skipping back and forth, just like this. Starting out slow, making sure you got good, proper, coordinated form, and then you can start ramping up the speed as you get better at it. So the next is the icky shuffle. It's a little more difficult, it takes a little more coordination, but starting with 2 feet out, move left to right, move 2 feet in, 2 feet back out, and then back again. I do want to emphasize, though, when you do hit the outside of the box, we need to make sure that both feet are touching outside the box. It's easy to just land on one foot and then go back with the other. But for agility purposes, we want to make sure that we are hitting both outside and inside the box with both feet. And that's all I have for this video. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to come to one of the PIFOs and ask. Make sure we're hydrating, get those running shoes, and show up to PT prepared and ready to work hard. See you guys.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the new PT video showcasing all the new exercises. The first exercise on our list is what is called a thruster. Basically, a thruster is combining a front rack squat with a military overhead press. So you're going to begin the exercise by getting it in a front rack position, whether that's a dumbbell or a barbell or kettlebells. Then you're going to squat down, keeping your hips, back, and knees and toes all in the same alignment and engaged, and you're going to push the barbell over your head. One thing to note here is if you're going to use a barbell, try to get the barbell behind your head, so if your shoulders do give out for whatever reason, it's not coming down on your skull and literally breaking your neck. So just remember, it's a front rack squat, and then pushing that barbell or dumbbell over your head like a military overhead press. So 2 exercises we've done and you should be accustomed to. So the next exercise on our list is the side lunge. We've done a lot of side lunges and warm-ups. This time we're going to be adding a little bit of weight to it. So you're going to be doing it starting with shoulder width apart. You're going to be bringing one leg out horizontal to your body, and you're going to be trying to keep your knee and your toes in the same alignment. Try to keep your back and hips engaged still, keeping a good posture. You'll see a new angle coming up shortly. So you're going to see how my butt goes down 90 degrees and my knees and toes are in the same alignment. With everything we do, we want to have that good posture, and this is one of those exercises where posture and form is very, very important. You're going to have one of your feet planted while the other one moves, and drop your butt down to about 90 degrees. And with this exercise, you can either use a dumbbell or, as I'm using, a kettlebell, and just hold it in that front rack position. So here you can see my knee is staying in line with my toes, and my butt and back are engaged. So the next exercise is shoulder-wise. This is a lot like a front lateral raise, but you're gonna be going a little bit over your head. So you're gonna start in that bottom rack position near your hips, and you're gonna be raising those dumbbells to about your headline, and you're gonna see what I mean there. So right there, I'm going to my headline, I'm taking a pause and activating those rear delts. So with this, just make sure you're not swinging the weight. Stay firm and stay stable. If you start kind of moving and playing with the weight in a havoc manner, you're gonna get injured. It will put a lot of strain on that lower back. So stay stable, use light weight, and get a good pause at the top. If you wanna make this harder, you can get a bench, put your chest on the bench on an incline, and then do the same motion. That will isolate your rear delts immensely, and you will get a very, very good contraction that way. But if you just want to do standing, that's all good. You'll still get the same effects. But if you want to make it more difficult, put your chest on an incline bench and do the same motion. So the next exercise, we all know what crunches are. Just start with your feet raised, lower your back to the ground, and bring your elbows to your thighs. Very simple. I know we all know how to do crunches. Just make sure you're getting a good contraction at the top, and you'll get the effects. So the next is a rear delt fly. This is created by starting straight and then hinging at your hips about 45 degrees with your scapula engaged. You're gonna angle out your dumbbells. Right here, you're gonna see what I mean by that. So I bend down and I angle out the dumbbells in a kind of diagonal manner, and you're just gonna be squeezing your back muscles together. Do light weight, get a good contraction at the top, get a good stretch at the bottom, and make sure you're not flailing those dumbbells around, because again, that will lead to injury. So here you're seeing a back view where I'm taking a pause at the top, keeping my back and my rear delts engaged the whole time. So once again, get a good hinge, about 45 degrees, scapula engage, back and hips in tune, in line with each other, so you're not rounding at the top or rounding at the bottom of your back. Diagonally forcing those dumbbells outwardly and squeezing at the top. This is a motion that you don't need a lot of weight and you don't want to go fast. This is all about the stretch and the contraction of those rear delts and that middle trapezius. So here again, hinging at the hips, squeezing together, taking a pause at the top, and stretching back down. So once again, use light weight, get a good stretch, and get a good contraction. So the next is a reverse lunge. This is all very accustomed to us. We do a lot of lunges in our program. This is done by either getting a barbell, kettlebell, dumbbells, and you're just gonna take a backward step, forming a 90-degree angle with that back and front leg. Tips for this is make sure your knee is staying behind your toe or in line with your toe line. That goes for your front foot. Obviously, your back foot that's doing the work is not gonna be in line. Here's a front view. So just make sure knees, toes in line. If you put your knee over your toe, it can create a little bit more strain, and that can lead to some injury. So here, once again, using dumbbells, I start standing straight and I put one of my feet back, dropping down into a 90-degree angle, and then raising back up at the top. With this, like everything else, posture is extremely important. Make sure your scapula is staying engaged, that lower back is staying engaged, and that will promote a healthy reverse lunge. If your knee does touch the ground, it's not the end of the world, but ideally you kind of want your knee to stay right above the ground. A few of my repetitions, I do hit the ground. Like I said, it's not the end of the world, but primarily you want to keep that knee right above the ground, about half an inch above hitting the ground. And lastly, the greatest exercise ever, pull-ups. Very simple, very self-explanatory. Get a pull-up bar, get on it, and you're gonna raise your chin over that bar. Notice how I'm not kipping. Kipping is when you use momentum to get over the bar. Try to do strict pull-ups. Pull with your back, engage your butt, and squeeze in the core. So once again, up on the bar, about shoulder width apart, squeezing my back, my biceps, my glutes, and my core, and raising my chin over the bar. They are pull-ups, they are not kick-ups, so try to stay very strict with your pull-ups. If you get a good amount of sets and reps in, and then you feel yourself failing, then you can start using a little bit momentum. But try to do strict pull-ups, and if you need to use a band, then go ahead and use a band. Those are all the exercises for this PT rotation. Thank you for watching.